Hi and welcome back to the channel, and it's time for another haul. Thanks for watching, and thank you very much to all the new people who've subscribed. It's going very well, which is kind of unexpected but kind of delightful as well. So as the titles indicate, I'm doing another haul. So haul time. I've got a few things in the mail, some things I picked up in the big yellow shop, and a few that I've had on order. I've got some other things on back order that are going to be really fun to go through and fun to watch. In future I'm going to be doing another video about the Crate of Shame, and I'm going to be getting some movies that I haven't seen out of the Crate of Shame, which is all the new things I've got that I haven't seen before. One video at least in this stack is going into the Crate of Shame. So I'm going to be doing ongoing Crates of Shame videos to just get through the good movies that I've picked up but that I've never seen and I haven't got around to watching. So look forward to that. First one, I'm going to go from the ridiculous to the sublime. Did pick up a copy of Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman.
Which, yeah, it's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as the Snyder Cut. But you kind of jump on these trains and you've got to ride them to the end, so you get all of the movies in a series. We watched this in gold class, and it's got problems. I don't think it's really good, it would be the word I would use. It's got a couple of moments that are okay, but for the most part, I've done a video about it anyway, where I fixed it. I actually fixed Wonder Woman's plot line and certain difficult portions of it. So finally got it on physical media. On to more interesting things. I had a copy of this, but it's on DVD. It's a very bare bones DVD version of it. It's a movie I recommend. It's a movie by the wonderful Larry Cohen. The Stuff. This is the English version from Arrow.
There's something alive in yogurt. It's called benign bacteria.
And Arrow always put out a good product. It's the special edition, the making of a documentary featuring Larry Cohen, producer Paul Curter, actress Andrea Markovici, Steve Neal and Kim Newman, introduction and trailer commentary by the director, and yeah, so it's got a fair bit in there. It's another one of those dual covers where you can flip the cover over, but I'm not going to do that in this case. But got to have a copy of The Stuff in the library, and this one's worth it for the extras. Didn't cost too much, and definitely worth my time and my money. This one, I said I was going to get more Ozu movies. Yasujiro Ozu, the great Japanese film director. Now, I picked this one up. I've got another one on the way, but I picked this one up because I want to see more of his work. All I've really seen is Tokyo Story, but this one is Equinox Flower, which is a comedy by Ozu about a woman who's having trouble with her father because she wants to have a love match wedding, whereas traditionally families worked out the weddings. So it's a comedy about that. I don't know too much more about it than that. It's got some special features and an illustrated booklet in it as well. Let me just pop everything down so I can show you the illustrated booklet, because I'm terribly unorganized today. So it's a BFI version. BFI does a lovely product, and they have a booklet as well, so you can learn more about it. This also has an earlier Ozu movie with it as an added bonus, a movie called There Was a Father, and I know nothing about that one either. I find with certain quality films like this, going in cold is always the best way to do it, because you don't have expectations. Not that a movie by Yasujiro Ozu will disappoint at all, but I don't want to go and think it's one kind of movie when it's actually another. I just want to let it be what it is and throw itself at me, and I'll undoubtedly enjoy it because he is one of the great filmmakers, and I'm glad I've got this. I've got so much shit in my DVD and Blu-ray collection. I really want to kind of up the quality of certain things and certain movies that I have in there, and kind of end up with a beautiful library of movies that steer towards the weird and the quality at the same time. It's probably something I should have started 10 years ago, but we'll work from here. So Equinox Flower, I'm looking forward to watching that one. It's going into the Crate of Shame. This one is a Hammer suspense movie that I haven't seen. I may already have a copy of it, but don't tell Sally, who's going to watch this video and find out. I don't know whether I have or not, and I'm not game to look. It's Fear in the Night with Peter Cushing, Judy Geeson, Joan Collins, Ralph Bates, and it's a thriller, probably one of those ones that Hammer did when they were trying to somewhat emulate giallo movies. And I told Peter Cushing is very good in it, but then I've never seen anything where he was less than great. And this one is the one that Studio Canal put out in Australia through Sony a few years ago. There are a whole bunch of them. They put out a whole bunch of quality Hammer movies. About 5 years ago they all started coming out, and they're great. So there's a featurette about the movie and the original trailer, so there's not too much else. This one's directed by Jimmy Sangster as well, so kind of looking forward to that. That one goes into the crate of shame as well because I haven't seen it yet. Now these two are Imprint. Imprint do a lovely product. I've mentioned them before on the channel, and they getting the ones with the slip covers where you can is the way to go with Imprint movies. At the moment, JB Hi-Fi, the big yellow shop, has a buy two get one free DVD and Blu-ray sale, and I picked up both of these for free by buying other movies. The first one is from 1948, Sorry Wrong Number with Barbara Stanwyck and Burt Lancaster. If you haven't seen this one, you really should. As I said, slipcover, and it's got a nice noir looking internal cover there, which is great. These are a lovely product. They've usually got a lot of good extras in them as well. Let me just see. Exclusive commentary by noir expert Alan K. Rode. Introduction by film historian Eddie Muller. There's a making of Sorry Wrong Number. There's the original radio play upon which it was based on there as well. So, and a theatrical trailer and photo gallery as well. I've seen this movie a number of times. I like it a lot. It's tight, it's well scripted, and Barbara Stanwyck is really great in it. Got a nice little tight ending to it as well, which makes it sound dirty, but it's not. But I'm glad I've got a good quality of that one. And of course they always put the year it was made on the spine, which is kind of nice as well. Imprint do a beautiful product. I've got a number of these now, including Rage. I did a video about Rage and a few others. I think War of the Worlds as well. So nice product. And then I got this one, which is a slightly older one from a few months ago. It's another Imprint. This is a kind of sleeper science fiction movie from the 1950s. I was going to put it into my hidden gems of 1950s science fiction, but I didn't have a copy of it at that stage. So I've almost finished the second part of the 1950s hidden gem video. But this one, Arch Obler's 5, which if you haven't seen is one of the first movies about a post-apocalyptic scenario. When a nuclear bomb destroys the world, the last living human beings, a pregnant woman, a philosopher, a black man, a banker and an explorer, must work together. However, their clashing visions of the future could lead to their destruction. So this one's got an audio commentary by film historians Glenn Erickson and Matthew Rovner, Kim Newman and Arch Obler, theatrical trailer, and it's a new 2K scan of the original negative. So it'll be nice quality. There's the internal cover of it, which is a bit bleak, but then it's not necessarily a cheerful story. It is not Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And on the inside you've got just a little bit of that with a little bit of the something from the movie itself. Haven't seen this one for a very long time. I first saw it on late night TV, as we see many of these kind of movies, many moons ago, and it did leave an impression. So I'm gonna enjoy revisiting that one. It doesn't go into the crate of shame, but it does go onto the pile to be watched, which for me are two different things. So there's that. Let's see what next we have. Umbrella Entertainment here in Australia do some really nice product. It's a little expensive for people overseas to get sometimes with postage, but I have the original DVD release of this movie, but there was no way I wasn't getting the special edition of it. It's an Australian cult film classic, filmed in my hometown of Sydney when I lived in my hometown of Sydney. Trying to get it organised here. The original Australian biker film, Stone, with Ken Shorter, Hugh Keys-Byrne, Sandy Harbert. This is a hardcore movie. And the special features in it, we've got an interview with Tarantino on the movie. We've got the making of Stone. We've got deleted and extended scenes. We've got a feature-length documentary from 1999. Extended, not quite Hollywood interviews with Sandy Harbert, Ken Shorter, Rebecca Gilling and Roger Ward. And stills gallery, makeup tests and the original theatrical trailer. Plus, on top of that, that's not all you get. You get the nice, there's a Japanese poster for it, which is very, very cool. There's the original cover art, but you also get the original soundtrack for the movie as a part of the 2-disc Blu-ray set. So there's the movie. There's the soundtrack to play on a CD player. So that's a nice package there. You're not going to get a better version of Stone. And if you haven't seen Stone, it is hardcore. It's brutal, it's tough, it's uncompromising. It was a labour of love by Sandy Harbert, who worked in advertising to get the money to make the film. Filmed in and around Sydney. It's a lush looking film. It's a tough film. It's one of the films that really started people taking notice of exploitation, and you should check that one out. I'm really glad that Umbrella brought that out. They're showing a lot of respect to the local product, and they brought that out as a special edition, which I like. Now, this one I don't know a lot about, but it looks like it's going to be fun. It says on the back, an ultimate mashup of Saturday morning cartoon and hyper-violent science fiction horror. And it is Psycho Goreman. It's another one that was put out by Umbrella Entertainment here in Australia. I've heard a few good things about it. It's supposed to be funny and transgressive and gory. It's got an audio commentary with the director, Steve Kostansky. One-on-one, an interview with the director, Psycho Goreman inside the creature shop, Psycho Goreman miniature magic, a conversation with Psycho Goreman himself, filming of one of the fight scenes, deleted scenes, and theatrical trailer. So this one looks great. I haven't seen it before. It goes into the crate of shame. There's the internal cover of it, and I've got to get that out of the light. There's a back cover which gives you a little bit more of an idea about what the movie is about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And when I'm in the right mood for a science fiction horror film, comedy, I'm going to dive into Psycho Goreman. If you've seen it, let me know, and let me know what you think, because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It may well be one of the ones I'll watch with middle-aged geek girl, because she likes a little bit of comedy horror as well. And speaking of comedy horror, this is a crazy English film with George Sanders and Beryl Reid in it, and Nicky Henson. It's a mad story about English bikers, magic, toads and other things. If you haven't seen it, that's not going to help you a lot. But it is Psychomania. Now this one is a crazy early 1970s horror magical film, filmed in England. It's got a lot of extras on it. I'm not going to go through them, but I'm going to give you a quick look, and you can freeze frame it maybe and see there are interviews, there are special commentary tracks, there are documentaries about it. It's a mad little film, very, very 1970s. There's also a booklet about it. This comes from BFI, so you always get a decent booklet about the movie with a couple of good essays always. And yeah, it's a quality product, and I didn't pay a terrible amount for it either. Got it from Zavi.com because they're the best place I know to get some of these things. Or did I get it directly from BFI? I think I got it directly from BFI along with a couple of other things when they had a sale on. But I've already watched this, and yeah, it's a mad movie. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I want you to kind of enjoy and embrace the craziness of it all but for yourself. Time to pause for a sip of coffee. Oh, I needed that. So we're heading, this is the last of the DVDs, Blu-rays that I've got. I have another copy of it, but it's not as good. This one's by Studio Canal, working with Sony again. classic of French Nouvelle Vague cinema. Breathless, it is great. Francois Truffaut, Jean-Paul Belmondo, Gene Seberg, raw black and white film. Let's see, there's a film presentation by Colin Maccabee, and a few other extras that don't really explain what they are on the back, because who knows why. But if you haven't seen Breathless, you really should check it out. Wasn't in love with the remake that was done with Richard Gere in the 1980s. Some people like it, but for me, this is the one to go for. It's a nice presentation. I didn't have it on Blu-ray, and I may well gift a friend of mine the DVD version I've got, to try to get some of my friends to watch something apart from science fiction movies. But I'm going to dive back into Breathless as well. I may well do a season of French New Wave films, because I always liked them. Things like Cleo from 5 to 7 I've talked about before, Agnes Varda's movie, the Jacques Demy musicals, and even before that, things like Elevated to the Gallows. Great films and really well done on limited budgets. Looking forward to revisiting this one because, well, it's got Jean-Paul Belmondo and Gene Seberg in it. What else do you need to know? So they're the movies that I've got, but I've actually got a TV series that has never been released on sell-through media before. Now these are done on, they were originally shot on videotape in the early 1970s in England. And they're based on a whole bunch of short stories that were in the public domain at the time, so they didn't have to pay for the rights to them. So there are stories by, let's see, Wilkie Collins, Charles Dickens, Arthur Conan Doyle, Honoré de Balzac, which is French for No Hitting Below the Belt. Let's see, Dorothy L. Sayers, Somerset Maugham. And I'll show you the first volume first. Orson Welles' Great Mysteries. Now, if you don't know what this is, Orson Welles introduces each of the stories in a cloud of cigar smoke and reading off cue cards, obviously, but he does give you some of that Welles raconteur vibe about it, and it's quite well done. There's the cover of the second one. These came from England. The actors who are in them is what gets me. I'll just read off a number of them who are on there. Victor Buono, Ian Bannon, Dean Stockwell, Carol Lindley, Alec McCowan, Anna Massey, Richard Johnson, Claire Bloom, and on the other one, Patrick McGee, Eli Wallach, Donald Pleasance, Peter Cushing, Susanna York, Michael Gambon, Harry Andrews, Christopher Lee, and Ian Holm. So the actors they've got in these are the best. They get them in to do a short story. Each episode runs about 30 minutes or so. They're in 2 acts. The way they do part 1 and part 2 for a commercial break in the middle of them. But they are tight. I've seen the one, I watched a few of these, but the version of the monkey paw that's in this one, and if you know the monkey paw story, you know what I'm talking about. Actually, it's in this one. The monkey paw version is really, really tight and really good, and follows the original story much closer than any of the movie versions that have been made of that particular horror story. Yeah, they've usually got a twist in the tail, these stories, and they're done on a fairly limited budget, but they're adaptations of classic short stories and a little bit of a hidden gem of television if you haven't seen them. And I'm holding them up, I'm holding the right way, yeah. Hidden gems of television from the 1970s. ITV made them in England. And if you can get a hold of these, and I think I did find one of them on eBay, the other one I bought from a website in England, I'm not sure which one. But they're not expensive and they're really nice. You can dip into the stories, just watch a story for half an hour, enjoy it, enjoy the acting, because the acting is on point, and just go with it. And it's nice to see things like this, which are almost forgotten anthology TV shows, getting a little bit of DVD love, and there aren't really any extras to them, but it's nice to have something like this to just enjoy and indulge yourself with. So that's it for this time around. We got 10 movies there and the TV series. Thanks again for watching. As always, look after yourselves. Watch some good movies, watch some bad movies, watch some really, really obscure television. and I'll catch you next time.